Hi guys, welcome back on board to the Crypto Cruise. It's me, Chris, and today we're going to talk about Ethereum Classic, what Ethereum Classic is all about, what makes it unique. We're going to talk some chart analysis, ETC compared to USD, to a dollar, ETC compared to the Bitcoin, to BTC as well. Of course, we're going to talk some traditional markets and and how exactly it came out as predicted. This descending triangle pattern that is going to break down. And of course, we're going to talk about the Bitcoin chart itself and where it's heading. So let's get started, guys. Let's just start with the Bitcoin chart. And as I've said, once we basically right now, if I just take out this, what I'm seeing on the daily chart is that we're forming a bullish megaphone pattern. And usually they break out on the upside. So we already had so basically 4 tests on the downside on the downward trend line, and now we're having quite a significant bounce, and I'm anticipating the next coming days to go prices of above 100,000 to potentially 100 and around 105,000. Then potentially we'll come back at price of around 100, and then we're gonna have all-time highs. I'm not gonna be surprised at all if by end of January we start hitting prices of above 110,000. This is something that charts. This is not just wishful thinking. If we zoom out, we clearly see we're in a raging bull market. Of course, nothing goes in a straight upline. Along the way, we had multiple corrections. I mean, here, as you can clearly see, right now, especially from November last year, we went from 66,000 all the way to 100,000. And December, we went above 108,000. So corrections are actually healthy when we're in a bull market the way we are right now. We were able to smash through that yearly resistance line that we've tested twice in 2021 in April and November, price of around 64 and 69,000. We managed to go above 100,000, as I've said. And right now we just we had a little bit of a pullback, a little correction. We are forming a bullish megaphone pattern, and potentially by end of January, we start hitting price of above 110,000 and all-time highs. This is just my personal opinion, of course. Of course, anything I say in this video, it is not a financial advice. It's for pure entertainment purposes. And before you do anything, do the diligence and make your own research. Because, as I've said, this is not a financial advice. And again, I was able to predict since I launched my channel this 10% correction, and then the V-shaped recovery. I mean, you can turn back some of my videos. I think my very first video was a V-shaped recovery. And that's exactly how it played out. V-shaped recovery, start testing its previous all-time high price of around 5,650 and a little bit of a pullback to this resistance line, turning it into support, and we had more continuation of the trend. And once we hit a price of above 6,000, potentially we're going to have a little bit of a pullback. And unfortunately, right now we formed a two bearish scenario, like a head and shoulders and descending triangle pattern, which we already break on the downside. And we can potentially drop further down to price of around 5,680. But if we go all the way to this resistance line, I'm still on bullish scenario, of course. I think we'll have that resistance, and then we're gonna have a huge bounce and start hitting higher prices. This is just my personal opinion, as I've said. If like we break down and we go and test this resistance line and we stay there for multiple weeks, let's say prices between 5,650 and 80, something like that, we can potentially drop down and we can actually enter in a bear market. But this hasn't played out yet, and I'm not going against the trend. I mean, the trend is your friend, as you all know. We had corrections along the way, especially here between the period end of July and end of October of 2023. We had 70% on the downside, but we had a swift bounce. So this is something that, what I'm actually anticipating to happen, because we're in a bull market. We again potentially drop further down, swift bounce, and the continuation of the trend. And as I've said, some of the altcoins will go absolutely crazy. And potentially Ethereum Classic can be one of those coins. Now, when you look at the market capitalization chart, so the total supply of ETC is around 210 million, but the circulated supply is around 150 million altogether right now. At the time of recording this video, Ethereum Classic is around 3.8 billion market capitalization. So let's just say, for example, we can go and so the all-time market cap was around 12, 15, almost 16 billion in 2021. Is that potentially this can potentially so in 16 billion was in 2021, and then the previous bull cycle was around 3 billion, 3.5 billion. So around 5x from its previous all-time high. So if we go 5x from all this from now, that'll be at a price of above 70 billion, 70 billion uh, for Ethereum Classic, and that's around 20 yes, 70 billion. So um, 70 billion, and now it's around 3.7. So this is around $500 Ethereum Classic. In my view, we can something like that potentially can play out. Of course, Ethereum Classic can easily go to zero. So always do diligence and make your own research, because as I've said, I don't predict the future, and no one does. And let's see how this thing is going to play out. I mean, it's interesting for me to see as well. I mean, Ethereum Classic is very much undervalued in my personal opinion, especially compared to Ethereum. So let's see how this thing is going to play out. Now, when it comes to Ethereum Classic compared to USD, this is something in the chart. So basically, we've been into this channel pattern. I mean, since its launch, and we've been consolidating on a downward trend line for many years. And every now and then we just break above it and we go and test this upper trend line. That's what we did in May of 2017, in June of 2017. We also did it in December of 2017 and January of 2018, and it's the all-time high in May of 2021. That's what we did as well to the upper trend line. So potentially, if we break above it, and Ethereum Classic is a very explosive coin. You just have to see. So in March, in like middle of March, almost April, end of March, one Ethereum Classic was below $10, and we went all the way to 175. So that's around 20x in a matter of a month, which is absolutely crazy. And if something like that plays out, 10x in a matter of month, we can go 250. Of course, that's going to be an all-time high. And if we go and tested it by April of 2025, or let's say April-May, quarter two of this year, we can potentially go and test 330 level. And since we had multiple touches on the upper trend line, we can actually break above it and have full price discovery. And as I've said, we can go and test prices of above $500 to $600. I'm not going to be surprised if something like that plays out. As I've said, Ethereum Classic is very much undervalued. We've been consolidating into this downward trend line for many, I would say years. And potentially once we break above this local top here at price of around $40, we retest it and shoot like what we did here in 2021. And we did twice in 2017, between April and June of 2017. Then again, another upward momentum from end of October of 2017 till December of 2017. Huge moves on the upside. So yeah, let's see how this thing is going to play out. But what I'm anticipating, of course, that's not a financial advice, higher prices for Ethereum Classic. When it comes to Ethereum Classic to Bitcoin chart, as I've said, we've been moving into this channel pattern like since its launch, and we had I mean, if something like that plays out like the previous bull cycle between the period end of December of 2020 and April of 2021, I see identical moves, and I mean, potentially we can start going and test this upper trend line as well. And if we measure it, like that's above 10x 10x from the downward trend line to the upside, let's say around 12x, but that's in Bitcoin terms, and yeah, so let's say 12x in Bitcoin terms, that this can be potentially 20x, and then again multiply $25 the price of one Ethereum Classic is. So again, above $500 to $600, another confirmation that we can potentially go and do something like that. Of course, the altcoin season can be easily invalidated something can easily go at the wrong direction and breaks down on the downside, and we don't ever see higher prices for Ethereum Classic. That's another possibility. But if you're asking me, I'm anticipating higher prices for Ethereum Classic, and let's see how this week is going to play out. Once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate all your support. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do it. It's for absolutely free. And if you want to get my two books, the Crypto Guidebook and the Art of Chart Analysis of How to Become a Sophisticated Trader, you can do that by subscribing. And of course, with that subscription comes exclusive content with the most undervalued, underappreciated coins, some of them 50, 100x potential. Of course, that's not a financial advice. Once again, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see each other later on. Goodbye.